with Emily Shaw today from Dairy Girl Fitness, and I cannot wait to dive into all of the things that I'm hoping to cover with you today. But Emily is a fitness influencer that has also kind of ventured into the world of advocating, kind of through her background, being raised on a dairy. So I'm going to kind of let you talk about everything first. So if you want to give us a quick little background and tell us a little bit about your story to start us off.
Yeah, for sure. So first off, so excited to be here, and I love connecting with anyone else within agriculture, within, specifically like women in ag, and this platform has been so incredible for doing that. So really excited to be doing this. And yes, I'm Emily Shaw. Hello. I'm 25 years old, and I currently live in North Central Florida. I've lived in Florida for about 2 years now, which is crazy, but I'm originally from Pennsylvania and grew up in Central Pennsylvania all of my life, and then grew up in the dairy industry. So we weren't technically right on a dairy farm, but we grew up within 4-H, FFA, National Holstein organizations, and everything in that aspect. So that's where my passion for dairy and dairy promotion really came from. And then I just grew up playing sports literally year round. I mean, we were just a very active family, just constantly staying moving. And, in college, went to Penn State for ag business management. So my big goal was always to kind of go into dairy promotion, and necessarily able to kind of find the, dream career that I thought I was looking for. And that's where I came up with the idea of Dairy Girl Fitness, because I was able to find a way to connect two passions, but most importantly, connect dairy and the ag industry to a group, an industry like fitness that typically wouldn't see, what we typically try to advocate. So that's where Dairy Girl Fitness came from. And now I'm an online personal trainer. I've been online full-time since November with my business. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah. And so I think one of the things that really stuck out to me about you and your story is I can 100% relate. I went to Texas A&M and studied ag business, and kind of, again, when I graduated, I didn't totally know what I wanted to do. But kind of through my current job, I've reconnected through agriculture, and kind of like you said, I kind of created a job for myself that brought the best of both worlds of what I love together and passions. But coming back to you, what have been some challenges that you faced, maybe kind of going into your own like self-employed, it's all on you type of atmosphere?
Oh yeah. It's entrepreneurship.
Yes.
It is interesting. So I think one of the coolest things about, being, I don't want to just say our generation, but I guess what we've been raised with, technology can literally let us do almost anything we want. Like you can make whatever you want come to life. It's just really having to kind of get over the fear of getting uncomfortable, fear of failure. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but really it is like just about starting and knowing that, yeah, like this may not always be rainbows and butterflies, but that's just a part of it. And really just also not being afraid to ask for help with this. I have my own coach. I've done a mentorship within starting an online business. And I think it's just so important to know, like, this is going to be difficult, but if you're willing to kind of ask for help, if you are able to do so, that's something that's really helped me. But it's also, I think one of the biggest challenges is sometimes just not getting into, I guess, what you call like the imposter syndrome thing. So where, I'm combining two things like fitness and dairy. So sometimes it's almost like, oh, should I just be focusing on one thing? Or like, would I be doing better if I was, just focusing on one thing? And then I realized if I was only focusing on one thing, Dairy Girl Fitness wouldn't be what it is. And it may not be, providing kind of the fulfillment that it is now.
Right. And that's, I think, one thing that's very unique to you and your platform is you have kind of taken these things that normal person may not think, okay, there's any relation between these two things. But when you really start to think about it, it's a lot of overlap. I mean, it's nutrition and, there's so much that kind of goes into all of it. So you have been extremely creative in the fact that you've taken them and kind of made your own little recipe of success out of it. And so so you're a personal trainer, you have your own base of clients, and is that pretty much, well, I'm sure now, yes, 100% online. But in a normal kind of world, are you meeting with these clients in person, or are you kind of a virtual guidance for them? How does that kind of work?
Yeah, so I'm 100% online all the time. So
Okay.
even when starting in November, and I mean, I think technically my first client was like maybe within October, but everything's been fully online. And that route is allowing me to work with so many women, like all over the country. I'm working with, a few in Canada, and that's just not something I'd be able to do if I was in person. And also, Florida has a ton of ag, but not necessarily a lot of dairy. And it's like, I don't work with just women in dairy, but also being online has allowed me to connect with more women who, have similar interests and similar backgrounds that are able to work with me, even if, we're thousands of miles away. So everything is online. It's all kind of provided through different apps, but it's really just meant to be flexible and fit with, any kind of lifestyle someone's leading.
Mm-hmm. And since you actually just said it, lifestyles, obviously, that's a huge part of fitness. What's kind of your motto as far as kind of maintaining a healthy lifestyle?
Yes, for sure. So yeah, with what I'm doing with my clients, so I more so work with lifestyle clients, and like, we just said, it's really meant to find those ways to where you can find that spot wherever you're most comfortable, confident, and you feel happy, and understanding where you probably need to be making some changes to get to that point. So exercise, more than just trying to achieve like a certain look or a certain goal, exercise, and specifically I like to focus on weight training and strength training. There's just so many benefits to where physically and mentally it's going to make you feel like your best self. So one of my biggest things that I always start with clients is just understanding that you need to start, but you don't have to go, I like to say, like balls to the walls with it. Like,
Yes.
you need to start realistic, and you need to start slow and see how it fits into your life, and just understand that something is always better than nothing. So I think that would almost be something I say so often, is something is always better than nothing. So that goes for workouts. And then on the nutrition side of things, I really like working with macros, which is the protein, fats, and carbs that make up calories. And that's not something everyone has to do, but I think it really just comes down to being able to learn more about what you're actually consuming, how that makes you feel, and really just learning to be more aware and mindful of nutrition and, the big impact it actually does have. I think it's something we so far often overlook, but that really is going to have one of the biggest kind of factors into how you feel and the results that you see.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know, even just personally, I had kind of through college, did the cardio thing. You go to the rec
Yep.
and stand on the
Oh, yeah.
treadmill, and then have found, or well, not stand on the treadmill. Hopefully you're actually on the treadmill, but, and then kind of found also a passion through the weightlifting thing, and just how much I feel like it just kind of empowers you to like, yes, you can do this. But I think that's something too, and I know you kind of talk on this, but that women maybe overlook the whole weight training thing. So maybe could you talk a little bit about that as just overall health and activity?
Yes, for sure. And yeah, I love talking about that because I think it's something that we all fall into. And I'm not going to like categorize all women, but just from kind of what we've been shown, it's like, yes, cardio is the best. It's the only thing we should be doing. And if you enjoy cardio, of course, do it. But I think so often we kind of fear the weight section, if you want to call it, just because that was, the bro area, the gym
Right.
bro thing growing up. And it was like, well, that's kind of scary. And I think everyone automatically thinks it's just super easy to look buff and get really big. And if you lift up a weight, you're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen that easy. So I think so often women just need to, I don't want to say like just get over the fear, but just understand that we all have to be beginners somewhere. And it's not as scary as you think it will be. It's going to be something that at first, just like anything, it takes time to learn, and it may be a little bit uncomfortable, but like you had said, and like you noticed, once you get in there, it's going to be the thing that just empowers you. And it just makes me feel so confident, and it makes me feel like a badass. It's giving you so many ways to challenge your body, and you're really just realizing like, wow, I'm really strong. And, just aside from the, how mentally it makes you feel, it's just good for overall strength in your day, posture, overall movement, and, just longevity and how you're going to be feeling.
Right. And I think too, social media has kind of created a new atmosphere of fitness has probably always been a big thing, but maybe we just
Yeah.
didn't realize it because social media now is all
Mhm.
over everything. That's the only thing that you see. But I think too, and I've fallen into the trap of kind of becoming obsessed with these fitness influencers that
Oh, yeah.
like Whitney Simmons. I'm just gonna throw
Oh,
that
yeah.
out there. I am low key obsessed with her, but even even her, like they share things about their diets that I have to stop and kind of think like they're, no dairy, no real meat, the GMO stuff, all of that. And then I kind of have to pause and think, okay, as an agriculturalist, this is going against everything that I believe in. And again, you are somebody who totally shares nothing but the truth as far as that goes. So I would really like you to explain it from the science side of things and what you know growing up in the industry and all of that.
Yeah. And, like, just to even start out, like I never would harass or make anyone feel wrong or like shame anyone to feeling
Right.
like they have to eat a certain way. But like you said, I really just based off the facts, and this facts and the science show that animal products are one of the highest sources of high quality protein. And of course, like I understand if you have an intolerance or some sort of just preference or something to where you just don't or can't consume those, I get it. But I think so often, I mean, there's just an abundance of information out there, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. So I kind of like to think sometimes, honestly, if I wasn't involved in the ag and dairy industry, how would I be eating? Like, what would I be supporting? Because almond milk and like all that stuff, it's cool. It's good marketing. I mean, it's trendy and it's exciting. But, oh, my boyfriend, so I'm going to go in the back. So, but yeah, kind of like I was saying, animal sources, so, meat, eggs, dairy, anything in that aspect, they are just shown time and time again. They're one of the highest available sources of protein. They are very, very like easily digested by the body. They're easily absorbed. And dairy is also one of the most affordable high quality sources of protein. So you're kind of getting more bang for your buck. And with the organic versus non-organic thing, however you want to view that, but it's also just really allowing people to realize that your food is safe no matter where it's coming from. There's never antibiotics, and everything, literally everything has hormones. So that's not something you have to worry about. Right. And then GMOs, I think people just fear that these are some like crazy weird technology that's like crawling through the fields, but it's really just to kind of break it down. It's just certain genes and being able to kind of crossbreed different products to create more products that in turn can hopefully use less water, less pesticides or insecticides, whatever it may be, but creating technology so we can use less resources that also everyone thinks are bad.
Right.
I feel like I kind of rambled there, but
No, I think you're spot on. It almost seems like sometimes people are worried about, being sustainable and efficient and all of these things. So they automatically think GMOs and, chemicals and all of that is bad, when in turn, really those things are what create sustainability and
yes.
efficiency. So I think from a fitness side of things and the health and nutrition side of things, I think exactly what you just said. It's important for people to kind of understand that they can still have those things in their diets and still be able to kind of make changes and be healthy. I think that's a common misconception. And so
For sure.
I think by your platform and what you kind of share, when I found you, I was like, yes, like finally somebody who's telling the truth about all of this. So thank you, first of all, for sharing all of that. But kind of as well, so social media, it's a thing. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and it can be a crazy bad thing as well. What has been your experience overall? Has it, just what's been your experience on being on different platforms?
Yeah, and for me, I think it's been pretty good. And I mean, just anyone in ag, I think we experience a lot more hate than someone who isn't in ag. And I don't mind it. Like, I totally get that anyone who chooses to harass strangers on the internet because you have a different opinion, I know those aren't honestly, those aren't normal type of people. Like a normal, decent human doesn't do that. And also, those are not the people that we are trying to, create conversations with, because their mind is made up whether or not, it's based on factual information or not. So My experience has been pretty good, to where I think we always just have to remember there's always going to be haters. Literally, no matter what you do, no matter what you support, no matter who you are. But typically, the good and the support is always going to outweigh the bad. And honestly, I'm not here to like create controversy, but if it ever does happen, honestly, it bumps up my engagement. It creates more conversation. And when people from an extreme side, so like animal activist, or anyone like on the extreme vegan side of things, if they attack my page and they do, I think they're making themselves look bad. And it really just kind of brings the light to other people who are like, wow, like farmers really do care and they want to provide the best, and they receive a lot of this hate and harassment, and maybe it kind of changes their perspective. So I welcome the haters. That's so cheesy, but I think all in all, I mean, there's just science that we can literally back up our facts with. So I mean, it's hard to argue with science. And if you do, I mean, I think again, it possibly just makes you not look ideal.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of always say, any publicity is good publicity, I guess. But as well, so for your audience, then kind of in addition to that, what is your main audience? Is it, I mean, obviously they're following you to get your content, but what do you kind of find your audience, what's a typical follower of Dairy Girl Fitness?
Yeah, so based on my statistics from Instagram, typically I think majority of women follow me, and probably women kind of within our similar age range. So like 20s, 30s, and anyone like outside of that specific range. But I think that's going to be kind of within the typical range and demographic that follows me. And then just women who, and of course, I think a lot of ag dairy people specifically do follow me, but more than anything, I think I'm able to connect with, and the people that interact with me are women who want to feel better, who want to feel confident and happy within themselves, within their body, and they want to learn how to lead the healthier lives and, push themselves, but also do it in a way to where they feel that they can still live life and, like we do, consume animal products or whatever it may be that they want to consume. So women who care about their health and want to just truly feel, more confident and happy with who they are, and not really understanding even where to start.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's like, I mean, we kind of just touched on it, but the scope of social media, it really allows you to do that and kind of interact with so many different people from all over, and be able to learn from you and hopefully take what you have to say to heart. So not to cut us short or anything, but kind of just to wrap this up, I usually just say, or ask you to share if you have a kind of blanket statement that you'd like to share as far as kind of you or platform, just anything that you wanted to kind of add in at the last little bit of this.
Yeah, so I guess more so on the ag and dairy side of things specifically, you should care about where your food is coming from, but you shouldn't be scared of where your food is coming from. The United States has one of the most incredible, safest, most abundant food supplies, and farmers care, including animal farmers, they care about their products and the animals that they're raising, because we are consuming the same products. Like farmers are consuming the products that they are creating, and they care about the environment, they care about sustainability, because we are on the same earth as well. So we're people just like you. So that's where it kind of comes on the ag side of things. And then on the fitness side of things, you really just have to kind of focus and learn what makes you feel your best. It doesn't have to look like what everyone else is doing, but it takes time. It takes a lot of patience. And, sometimes it is going to be tough, but the tough things are usually the things that are worth it. And like I said, close to the beginning of this, something really is better than nothing. So even if you can't, start off your fitness journey with like 5 days a week in a gym, counting macros and doing everything perfect, start by drinking water, start by going on more walks. You can build off of that, and it's going to allow you to just feel so much better than what you probably thought those little steps could do.
Well, Emily, thank you. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to sit down and talk with me. And I hope anybody who is watching this got a lot out of that. I know I just personally did. So thank you so much, and good luck in continuing to build your business.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I obviously love talking. So I had so much fun, and just love being able to have these conversations, and hopefully, kind of share some of that with even more people. So again, thank you. I had so much fun.